Are you into horror movie stories? Are you into paranormal? Do you like to listen to ghost stories or any kind of a nightmare from somebody's past? Well, you're going to hear mine today, so let's get into this.
Campfacer.
First, I want to thank all my subscribers and I want to thank all my fans and my followers out there. But I want to do a big shout out to my camp members for joining the channel. It's an extra little thing that helps support the channel, even though everyone here technically supports, but the camp members directly support my channel and they get exclusives, behind the scenes stuff like that, as an extra for helping out. If you are looking to help support the channel and become a member of the channel, I will leave a link down in the description below. Thank you. I'm gonna make a series of me talking about horror movie stuff from my past or real life events that have happened to me. Even if they weren't really paranormal or related to horror, they're still kind of horror. We're gonna call these series Camp Horror Stories from the Past. And I say camp as in me, with you guys, the camp here. Not campground or camp, Crystal Lake. It's my horror stories, my real life horror events. We're gonna talk about this stuff with you guys. So today's story is broke up into two parts, two different situations that happened. I'm gonna go over it with you guys. Excuse the wind, excuse the birds. We're out here in the real life nature. Shut up over there. Jason actually might be out in those woods, or the Blair Witch that way, or who knows. Anyways, I'm going to start this off with, be quiet. This is creepy, okay, you guys? I'm not going to show you my house, but right behind the camera is the house that we are currently living in, renting from the same landlord, and directly through the woods, right there, the next house over, is the first house we lived in before this house from the same landlord. When we, over 25, 30 years ago, when we realized that these people here were leaving and it was up for rent, we went from the smaller house over there to the bigger house here, which is a raised ranch, 3 bedrooms, yada yada. Okay, so we're going back in time to that house over 25, 30 years ago, okay? I was probably about 14, 15, something like that. Maybe younger. I can't remember. Maybe even 13. My mind is that far back I can't think. I know the stories that have happened, but I can't remember my age back then, because age, when you get older, it just kind of becomes like you forget about it. You don't want to know that you're going on 70 years old or 90. Anyways, my parents, I was really into skateboarding, okay, you guys? I was skateboarding with my friends around town. We'd go to little ramps set up somewhere. We'd street skate. Rainy days over at that house, it was a nice finished basement. I had washer and dryer hook up, and it was like a cement basement. And on rainy days, I'd skate with my brother in the basement. And I remember I left my skateboards down there, and I was upstairs. My parents were leaving for about an hour. It was just me there. My brother wasn't home. They were going to the store to get something, and they were going to come back within the hour, whatever it was. So I remember I was sitting upstairs, and I was watching TV. I think I was watching MTV. If you don't know what MTV is, everyone knows what MTV is, but back then they actually played music on the MTV. It was music television. So I was watching like music videos on MTV and something else like that. So at that point in time, I was by myself. The TV wasn't blasting, but it was pretty, loud enough. And it was about 10 minutes after they left, maybe 15 minutes. I heard something kind of drown behind the noise, a white noise from the TV. I heard something else going on, and I was like, what's that noise? And I was thinking to myself, sitting in the living room, like, what is that? So then I turned the TV all the way down, and I thought I heard my skateboard rolling around in the basement. Now, you know what a skateboard sounds like if you push it by itself on the road or something? It has like that, the bearings and the rubber wheels and the vibration. And sometimes if somebody moves the wheels like sideways, like a wheel slide, it'll make a squeaky noise. Well, I heard the skateboard. I thought I did. And I started getting freaked out, you guys. I was like, what the fuck? Because I knew nobody was home besides me. And there's no way to get in the basement besides if you came in the house and went down. There was no, well, the bulkhead was outside, but it was locked. And I knew my brother wasn't home, and I knew my parents weren't home. The car was gone. I saw them leave, and I heard my skateboard rolling around. At least I thought I did at that point in time. So I turned the TV all the way off, and I leaned down to the floor, and I put my ear down on the carpet to see if I could hear through the floor. So there I am listening through the floor to see if I was just hearing things, you know? I thought maybe for a second, maybe my mom turned the dryer on or the washer machine. Maybe it was that. So I put my ear down, and I didn't hear that because I knew when that was on, it was loud enough and it made a consistent sound. You knew what that was. It was kind of quiet, right? Had my ear to the floor, and I was trying to make it known if there was somebody down there that I wasn't there, because if I made noise and somebody was down there, they could come running up and attack. I didn't know what I was hearing. So I put my ear up to the floor, and I heard my skateboard actually rolling. And then I heard it like tic-tacking, like, you know, when you're pushing and you lean back on the tail and you're turning the wheels off the ground, then they hit, and I heard like the rubber wheel, the grinding of the wheels, like somebody was skateboarding in the basement. And when I heard that, you guys, I was telling my friend Josh this the other day. My reaction was I bolted out that door. I ran out that door so fast. It was daytime, thank God. I ran out of that door, and I ran out to our front yard near the road. I was about maybe 30 yards or 40 yards from the house. And there I sat. I was standing in the yard, milling around in the front yard for about an hour until my parents came home, because I was not going back to that house. We had big windows that were shut and locked. That I could have went up, like basement windows. I could have went up and peeked in to see if I saw something, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to like, what if I went up and looked and did see the skateboard moving by itself? Or what if there was somebody on it? Or in my luck, I'd go look and there'd be a face staring at me through the window. I was terrified, dude. I have goosebumps right now just thinking about that time. Now, that is one unexplained moment in my life that I have never till this day figured out what that was. Was my skateboard really moving around in the basement? It wasn't just a quick little roll. It wasn't like something fell over and knocked it and moved it. It was going for like a minute when I started hearing it until I ran out. It could have still been moving. Because when they came home and I went down the basement, I had like a stick or a bat, and my mom went down there with me. There was nothing there. My board was like on the ground, like it was the it was like it could have been rolling, but it was just sitting there. That's one story I have for you guys. I have another quick one. After we moved from that house to this house, which was funny because we literally, there was a path through the woods. The gap of the woods is about 35, 40 feet, give or take. There was a path. There's no path anymore because it's all overgrown. There's no reason to have a path, but there was a path for whatever reason back then. We got to move our furniture directly through the woods. We didn't have to load up a truck or anything, because I've been moving in the past before that and it sucked. This was like very convenient to like move boxes and stuff, so it was kind of fun in a way. So we moved over to here, and years went by, and my brother and I, we had back then it's always been a finished basement, but my brother and I it wasn't like completely done back then. I had a little bed and he had a little bed. And in the bed, my bed was against the wall, his was against the wall, and they were like probably about 8 feet apart, give or take, 6 to 8 feet. So I'm trying to give you a visual here. It was about 1 in the morning. It was dark in the room, and we were both in bed sleeping. I could barely see through the darkness, right? Now, at the foot of my bed, it was like a big, wide open, finished basement room, like panels on the wall, carpet, ceiling. It was all finished off. At the foot of my bed, if you went directly to the left, there was a door that would lead up to the landing, like one flight of stairs to the landing to the front door, and you turn the corner and go up another little flight of stairs to the actual second floor. And up there was a kitchen at the like you get to the top of the stairs, there's a kitchen on the right, it's a hallway with a bathroom and the 2 other bedrooms, or 3. And to the left of that top of the stairs is the living room. Now, on occasion in the past, my mom has come down to my room, and she'd always, even at late at night, be like, Camp, I need your help with a dog, maybe outside on the leash. He got tangled around a tree, and I'd have to, or whatever she needed help with. Or a light bulb went out and she needs me to reach up on a ladder and screw it in, whatever. So I'm laying in bed. It's about 1, 2 in the morning, and it's like I said, pitch black. And my brother's sleeping, and for all I know, everybody else is asleep in the house. So I kind of wake up a little bit, and I hear, psst, 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 Camp. I'm going to say Camp, you guys, because I don't want you guys to know my real name. I don't want people to come and murder me in my sleep, okay? Psst, Camp, 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 come here. And it was my mom. It was my mom's voice, 100%. It was my mom. I was like, what do you want, Mom? And she's like, come on, up, I need your help. Psst, come here. Up. I was like, all right, geez. I was like, I was so tired. I climbed out of bed. I was kind of like looking around to see I didn't step on anything or trip. And I was like, and I heard her saying it, and she went up the stairs ahead of me, but I didn't see her. I walk around the corner of my bed. I go up the first flight. I go up the second flight. I'm like, Mom, what do you want? And I look in the kitchen and the living room on my left, the kitchen in front of me, and the hall on my right. I didn't see her. I go down the hall. I'm like, what the hell does she want? So I walk down the hall, and I glance in, and she's in bed sleeping with my dad. Her and my dad are sleeping in the bed with the covers up. Like it looked like they haven't woke up in hours. They've been sleeping. Like there was no sign of like the cover. Like it's not like she just went and jumped back in bed. She's in bed sleeping, and there was no one around. Like it was like, at that point in time, I froze. I had shivers and I had goosebumps going up my arms. There was something calling me, and it wasn't my mom. I was trying to figure a way to get down those stairs I felt like every step I took, or the faster I started moving down the stairs to go to the room, something was gonna then get me, or I didn't know what to think, man. I was freaked the hell out. So I made it down the first flight of stairs. The second flight of stairs, I started running, and then I bolted around the corner where my bed is, and I jumped probably 8 to 10 feet in the air and landed in my bed, grabbed the covers and covered my head up, and I was in like a state of panic, of so much fear, and didn't know what to think. But at the same time, I thought I heard, like, it must have been like a ghost or something, because it wasn't like I was dreaming. It wasn't like I was half awake and I could have been just hearing something. I legit heard my mom calling my name. Even after I woke up and looked at the end of the bed, I couldn't see. The voice was coming from there. Camp, come here, Camp. So I legit was covered up, and I was so scared to peek after that and pull my head up, because if I did, I was scared there was going to be a face in front of me, like right close, like staring at me. I think I just fell asleep under the covers, and I that was the end of that, man. Until this day, that's another thing I've never figured out what the hell that was. I will never know what I heard that day here, and I will never know what I heard that day skateboarding in the basement. Those are two unexplained events, paranormal events that have happened to me, and I'm not making this up. I've told people this story, both stories, for years down the road. I always retell this story to people, and it's one of those things, you know. I always like to try to pick things apart and try this. I always like nowadays. There's always an explanation for something, but with those two things, there was no explanation, and I will never know what it was. So for all I know, there was a ghost or there was something there. Maybe there wasn't, but if there wasn't, I had no clue. Anyways, I just want to ask you guys, have you guys encountered any kind of situations like that in your life? If you have, please leave a comment down below. Like, talk about it, and I'd love to hear your stories because I like talking about these kind of things with people sometimes. But before I drag this video on and on and on, I'm just going to end it here, and I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the channel, hanging out with me. You guys are awesome. I want to keep the horror movie stuff real with you guys. I don't want to lose track because I know I do other stuff. I kind of drift off. I want to keep I started this channel all about horror, and I'm going to continue with the horror. Even if the algorithm's not picking up on my Campfacer name. I know a lot of people out there that do make it are the ones that are like Camp Horror Nation, you know, because people look at the name and they're like, oh, it's a legit horror channel. I'm going to join it. I don't care what the content is. It tells me it's a horror channel. But a lot of people look at me and they're like, I don't know what Campfacer means. It's just some dude with a weird name. I'm not going to bother subscribing to him. But maybe one day I'll figure something out, you guys. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for sticking around. Thanks for listening, supporting the channel, and make sure to like the video or dislike it. It still supports, it still helps the algorithm of my channel out. And if you have not subscribed, please consider, and I will see you guys in the next video. As always, campers, stay out of the woods.